Throughout my career, I have always said busy doesn't mean productive. I hate when you're talking to someone and they go, "Oh, I'm so busy," because most of the time it's really just a cop out. But now AI is actually proving it. It isn't just doing work faster, it's exposing how much of it was BS. If you're new here, I'm Trent Cotton, the human capitalist, and I have spent over 20 years in the HR space and held some pretty high level positions. On this channel, I like to help the C suite leaders and HR executives navigate this workforce transformation by breaking down and actually researching AI's real impact on the people strategy. Not the hype, not the tools, but the decisions that are actually going to shape outcomes. My goal is that leaders start making smarter decisions, not just faster ones. So I've been in the workforce since I was 16, and I'm not going to tell you how many years that is, but many of the years before I got into HR was actually leading teams. And I saw this outside and inside of HR. People are rewarded for looking busy, not for creating results. They're great at creating decks that no one reads, or meetings that absolutely solved nothing, or reports that are more about optics than they are about outcomes. Fast Company actually calls this the BS economy, and I am here for it. It's a world of job that looks like work, but it doesn't actually move anything forward. Now, AI, it's automating all of it. Calendars, slide decks, RFPs, even fake avatars for virtual meetings. I would not encourage that one. Now, this should scare us, but it's also a wake up call because if AI can actually knock something out in seconds, maybe it was never really worked to begin with. MIT ran a study showing AI boost white collar productivity, but it hasn't moved the needle on company profits or outcomes. And I find that really interesting. I think the answer to why is because we're still focused on the speed over substance. We haven't changed the what. We're just doing the same irrelevant things. We're just doing them faster. A 2023 study found that generative AI saves workers 5.4% of their weekly hours. And I think that number is a lot more significant now with all of the updates. But here's what I'd really like to know. That 5.4% in savings, was that time spent on meetings that no one needed? You know, the ones that's more like certain people love to hear themselves talk about whatever versus those meetings that are actually designed to get things done. Or maybe it was spent on the reports that no one reads. God knows I have put together several of mine in my career. If those are the time savings, then AI just made fake productivity look more efficient. It did not make it more meaningful. The problem is that AI is it's a tool. It can speed up delivery, it can remove some of the grunt work, but it can't choose priorities. It can't say this meeting is pointless, which I wish it would. And it can't decide your mission, your values, or your impact, or write a report that guarantees people will not only read it, but actually retain the information that's in it. And this is the crossroads that I think that everyone needs to be aware of. We are the problem. Leaders, humans, HR, the people who actually design the work. And if we keep feeding AI these broken systems, all we're doing is scaling our current dysfunction, making it look more efficient while never really fixing the problem. And what's happening is the more we're using AI, the more we're realizing how much of our work didn't really need to exist. But that's a good thing. Think of it as a reset. It's a chance to kill the noise and focus on some real impact for a change. And here's where I want to change the people part of the organization, or HR. I want you to become the voice of reason and stop playing into these organizational rewards for just being busy. Whenever I held the role, I always told everyone I was in charge of the largest expense, but also the largest asset that produced revenue. We should be obsessed with the productive, not the busy. So here are 4 ways that I use to make sure that I focused on the productive and not the busy. Now, the first step is auditing the busy loop. This is reviewing workflows. What are people doing that has no value or no one needs any longer? I like to do a group activity where I bring a team in and I give them post-it notes and they write out their entire process. And then I give them stickers and we call it the BS sticker. And they go in and they put stickers where they think that things are BS, where reports that no one's needing or meetings that really have no value. And that gives a very good, visible, team driven way of identifying where's the busy and what needs to be tackled first. And with AI, you actually need to determine where in the workflow a human needs to be and what should be done by AI. And don't just audit and forget. This should be a continuous process. Productivity is a marathon, it is not a sprint. Next, I like to build roles around impact. So I swap task lists for outcome goals, refine success by results and not by rituals. We know the KPIs that are going to make our organization succeed. Why are we not recalibrating people and processes around those? If we want HR to be seen as credible and valuable, we have to start owning this. Drive productivity by working closely with leadership and ask where are the areas in the org that could drive more impact. Start there. Aligning roles so that every action drives growth will not only help your organization, it'll also increase employee engagement. People want to do meaningful work. And most importantly, it's going to guarantee you a seat at the leadership table. Number three is to train managers to see real work. HR, we can't do it alone. And we all know that managers are the real drivers of change, but let's face it, a lot of times they're the biggest obstacle. Some of those managers may have actually gotten into the role because they were really good at being busy. But now is the time to change that mindset. It has to change from visibility to value. And understand that this might even mean that you need new leaders. So you're going to have to get your C suite ready for that and align it as the steps towards productivity because productivity almost always equals growth. Number four is to redesign and retrain the organization for deep work. One of my biggest pet peeves is meetings with no value. We're all consumed by them. There are memes out there about people using meetings to keep them from working. And if we want to increase productivity, we have to give people time to actually do the work. We have to protect deep thinking time. Cut meetings that don't move the needle. It's a small step that will not only boost morale, but it'll also point out those in your org who love to hide behind meetings and stay busy during the day. Look, HR has a tremendous opportunity to lead in this right now. AI is handling the automation, but we get to decide what matters. My challenge to you is let's not rebuild the BS economy with smarter tools. Let's rebuild it for meaning and employee engagement. My final thoughts redesign, don't repeat. I'm Trent Cotton, your human capitalist. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and share. Also, invest in yourself because no one's going to do it like you do.